Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Hanville Legend 826 here. I'm sure you remember where you were, 20 years ago on September 11, 2001, because none of us are going to forget what happened on that day, obviously. It's going to be stuck, ingrained in our minds. Pretty traumatic stuff. 20 years later, I think we've gained a lot of cognizance and, a lot of intelligence since then. I think we can easily ask ourselves, what are the lessons learned? For me personally, the lesson was about learning about the value of human life. The killers, the people responsible for what happened on September 11, 2001, they had a total disregard and disrespect for human life that day, and they treated it like it was a game. You know, Absolutely stunning what happened. Pretty shocking when the news first came out, and you know the two planes hit the World Trade Center, and then the other two hit the Pentagon in Pennsylvania. 3,000 lives almost snuffed out in one day, and lots of others devastated because of what happened. Leaves a lot of shocking questions, a lot of trauma and devastation. You know, I mean, we were, I mean, the human race has always had like moments of devastation, moments of like people attacking each other and stealing stuff and everything. We were a fallen race, both spiritually and physically. We've robbed the world of its nutrients. Built our factories. We stole. We went after our own lusts. Even before September 11, 2001, we were a fallen race, spiritually and physically. And it's still shocking to believe, honestly, even after 20 years. None of us have really been the same since that day. When the attacks happened, it devastated like a bunch of people. Now, now when when I grew up, I was only 4 years old when the whole thing took place, so I don't remember it obviously. But when I was growing up in the 2000s decade, I heard like a lot of narratives and reviews about what happened. A lot of opinions about the whole thing. You know, so when I got older, I watched documentaries about the event. Documentaries about American Airlines Flight 11. How the passengers and their last moments of terror when the plane was heading towards the World Trade Center, the flight attendants that were in agony, and the passengers that were just forced to watch it in their last moments. The courage of the people on United Airlines Flight 93. The 40 passengers that took control of the plane. You know, and went down fighting. They at least stopped the hijackers from carrying out their plan. And there's still a lot of anger and a lot of devastation after 20 years, and it's understandable. Things like this just things like this just don't go away over time. They say time heals all wounds. But that's not always true. Try telling that to a survivor, or a family member of someone they lost. Someone that actually survived the whole thing. It doesn't work that way. It's not that it doesn't just go away like that. It's going to be ingrained in their mind for quite a while. Now, granted, they've moved on. They move on with their life. They make peace with what they've been through. Life goes on. You just got to be there to help them out. Remember the people who didn't make it that day, who didn't survive. It's what it kind of boils down to. You know. The two questions that can be asked after September 11, 2001 are, what are the lessons learned? The value of human life, of course, and the other question is, what steps have we taken since then? I can't say we've done everything. The United States hasn't done everything perfectly. Granted, there's still a lot of things we need to work on. Still a lot of things we need to like in our government, in our infrastructure that we need to take care of. It's like to deal with our situation. There's still a lot of things we have to take care of. There's still a lot of situations that we still have to deal with. It's still far from perfect. You know. But regardless, however, I believe that we have learned from this situation. We have learned from this disaster. We've gotten better because of it. We've gotten stronger because of it. You know. September 11, 2001 was a horrible day, and something that we should never forget about. Of course, it has to we need to remember it for our history, because the people that day, 343 firefighters and 80 and 71 law enforcement police officers, they all gave their lives that day. They went in there knowing they would probably never come out. A huge sacrifice they had to make just so that we be able to preserve our freedoms for today, just so that other people would be able to live. We should remember them. Not only enjoy the benefits we have because of them, but remember what they did their purpose in that mission, you know, and what they accomplished, and what have you learned since then, you know. It's a brief video, but hope I explained my points, about my thoughts about, the 20th anniversary of the September 11 attacks, you know. Living in New York my whole life, it's something that I've heard a lot, heard very often, so I figured I should talk about it. But that's all I gotta say. Those are just my thoughts. Yeah, stay safe, everybody. 20 years. Never forget.